of doing it. I didn't.
I know
think
that
of
the
it.
leases.
No.
Any outside outlet and get a couple miles.
You tell me when it's recording.
Just like, yeah.
You right now?
Careful now. you're-
Oh, I'm on TV.
I did.
I guess I am.
And was that loud enough?
Maybe you have to stay here.
That is very fun.
Board is in session.
Yes. All right, good morning, everyone. It is 8:34 a.m. on Friday, March 27th, and I'll call the governance committee meeting to order. And for the record, since we're recording, I would like to go around the room for attendance, and we'll start.
I'm Chuck Hogan, chairman.
Rachel Johnson, vice chair and committee chair.
Bill Simcoe, acting commissioner.
Bill Kahn, rate consultant.
Justin Shivabine, Operation Manager.
Sarah Terrell, HR Generalist.
Ifley Slums, Chief Accountant.
Michael Franchini, committee member.
Laura Golfo, Council.
Karen Wills, project coordinator.
All right, thank you, everyone. And if there are no comments or questions, I would like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the last governance committee meeting without reading them first.
Make a motion.
So most second, I'll second, and all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, so we'll move right on to 4, board strategic planning. So to announce this, was it last meeting? Or the meeting before it was when Josie,
Meeting before, yeah.
was when Joe DiGiovine started us on our project and gave us the guidelines. And then we worked for 2 months on these. And Chuck got us started to prepare our North Stars for discussion this morning, and then we can keep working on them and approve them later and put them on our website, which is the ultimate goal. But then I took the North Stars and put them into AI to add some more flavors and more email and perspectives that folks have, the staff have given. And then came up with what we have on the screen and what everyone has had for review. And so what I thought we would do today is, first of all, discuss them, see if we like this format at all. And to proceed with this format, and then to get more feedback so that I can continue working, and then maybe we come again at another governance committee meeting to get final thoughts and approve them. Unless someone else has a better plan, but that was what I was thinking.
That works.
Or,
Yeah, I just, it's
Yeah.
good.
I think it's great.
so with that,
I
then
just was blown away from what the AI
it,
is.
it worked, and you can massage it, and yeah, I'll keep working. So I'll take all of your feedback, and then I'll keep working through the next couple of weeks, and then we'll come back again and look at them again. So I don't know if we want to go through them one by one, maybe at a high level.
Comment.
I stuck those comments in because I was gonna keep massaging, and then I thought, no, it's time to, at the open meeting, get feedback before I keep going. So, yeah, I ended up actually with 5, and then I added the 6th. So we can discuss if we like all 5 or 6. Is that too many? Do we like how everything is lumped, or do we want to change that? I don't know if anyone has thoughts or feedback on that. So,
I'd like adding the lead, because it'll be in the next 10 years. That's such a big part of what we're gonna have to do.
and yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Well, why don't I say, if you go up, why don't we just at a high level talk? So the first one was uncompromising public health, taste and safety, because that's what we do, is we distribute the water and then take away the wastewater. So that was directly from the mission. Oh, I put the mission into AI, of course.
Yeah.
So it did take directly from the mission, and it prioritized them pretty well. So then when I read this, we can massage the words on the 4 bullets. I liked the 4 bullets. But get the lead out is definitely a huge initiative, so I think that's worth writing down. So looks like everyone's in agreement.
Yeah, I have no comments on that section.
Okay, all right, and I
Yeah, I
like,
think the regulatory It's gonna be 137.
37, thank you, yeah. Yeah,
Oh, it's very so.
for regulatory,
Unless CPA changes.
okay, yeah. All right, and then just a thought of either combining the two bullets or leaving them this as is. I don't know if anyone had any particular thoughts on that.
I'd leave it the way it is right now.
Leave it at,
Yeah,
all right. The second, so North Star number 2 is operational reliability and infrastructure modernization, and that's what, because of the aging infrastructure, and we've got to keep the pipes going, and we have to, devote resources to that and make sure the resources are available. So the only thought I had that might be missing, and that was in system integrity, is that it doesn't talk about any of the digitalization and how we want to continue to modernize there.
Yeah, if it's one city's approach to.
Yes, yeah. Seems like that's worth trying to add, just so that it's written.
Yes, because it's pretty. Big aspect of what
What we're doing.
Operation.
Okay. All right, thanks, Bill. So I will try to add that in and send it. I might ask for a little bit of help with that
Sure.
one, but it'll be a quick email and then
Sure.
before, okay. That'd be great.
You know, I don't think we need to be specific on technology because it's coming on so fast. We don't know
We don't have to say
what it
which.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about adding AI after you did this.
No.
I don't think we need to.
Maybe just a high level, so it's clear
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we want to make sure that the department understands that we will resource and continue to, like I said, modernize. So number 3, climate adaptation, so stormwater and resilience. Obviously, there was the long-term control plan. This has been huge for the past 4 years, so that's definitely an important aspect. Any comments to that one? I didn't have any.
No.
I really I'm very much in favor of sustainability issues. Solar panels, electric vehicles and all that. Is that, you think that's included in here or should it be included or some mention about sustainability?
Yes. Yeah,
I mean, we've done some. I know you've gotten some electric vehicles,
yeah.
you know, is there
Yeah.
a program to purchase more electric vehicles? Have you looked at like electric equipment? Instead of.
And I think, some of what Joe put into the blurb in the budget had mentioned about sustainability. I don't know if that makes you put into AI, some of the,
I didn't.
some of the pros that's in the 2026 budget.
Okay,
Had, some interesting goals and things in it.
you're right. It's right on the slide back too, that is available to us. Yeah, I should grab that. I could just put that in and see what happens and send out another version.
Yeah.
And then I can also try to work with this and just work in individual feedback and give that. But yeah, I agree. I think number 3 would be where that seems appropriate. Yeah. You just AI add. Let me just write that quick note.
I had a quick comment about the equipment. So we have purchased some electric equipment. We actually purchased electric lawnmowers, weed whackers.
Nice,
We tried the electric saws.
right.
They don't work very well in the hole.
Oh, they run out.
They run out.
They
They
run
run
out.
2 batteries and don't have a full pipe cut. So we did go back to gas saws, but we purchased electric remote control lawnmower, which is great for our GI crew. So
Right.
sustainability is one of our core values. So we are always trying to purchase more and more electric equipment as we
Good,
can.
excellent.
Yeah. Okay, we'll work that, I'll work to add that one in too. Number 4 is equitable, so this is our financial North Star, so. I didn't know if that go higher for our financial stewardship and, or if number 4 makes sense.
Hadn't thought about the order. Let's go on.
Seems like it should be an order of priority, and this one just took the mission statement and probably where we had it and.
Maybe move it up to number 2. We're building.
I-
Bill and I were in a meeting yesterday. We were talking about how important it is that we keep make it affordable for
Affordable,
people,
yeah.
given the enormous number of, 37% of the people in the city live below the poverty line.
Mhm.
It's just something, and we've really addressed it with the pricing structure.
Yes, yeah,
That really has made an enormous difference. Bill and I were meeting yesterday explaining that to the staff at the city hall.
okay.
And
Great.
I don't know, I don't think the order makes that much difference. They're all there.
They're, yeah, they're the key thing. Okay, so then we'll leave it where it is.
The, in one of the renditions, I found this spreadsheet that Joe did, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about customer service,
Yes,
you know,
yeah,
is there any mention here about customer service? I mean, it's like one of the areas where the board actually deals with customers, you know, with open meetings, people can attend and things like that. So should we be responsive to all customers, or more responsive, or at least some standard of responsiveness for customers?
That and transparency.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay,
I mean, being responsive to customers, that's the, on the ground where some of our employees are gonna meet those customers during water line breaks or meter reader, whatever they're doing out there, and being responsive to their needs. So,
right.
not just at the billing desk or at these meetings, but all over, being responsive.
I like it. Initial thoughts, my thought was gonna say number 1, but then you brought this up at number 4.
Yeah,
It
right.
also makes sense. Okay, could.
I
don't know,
thought 4,
think about it. Okay, you thought 4. Yeah. Yeah, let me think on that and keep working with that note. Regulatory innovation and regional harmony. I don't know if we want to tweak those words. I left them. It focused in on intermunicipal relationships, which I found interesting too, because that's not exactly in the mission statement, and it wasn't in anything that I added into the AI statement, but we do have
It's
relationships.
very important.
Yeah, so.
And Bill, do you want to talk about that now or during the regular meeting? Monday, Bill, we're gonna have a meeting about the city's budget, our budget, what we can do to help, and I wrote a footnote to this thing about the history of our relationship with the city, and you made some comments that I thought were interesting. Yeah, and well, as Gandhi said, things happen at the right time. And you want to talk about it now a little bit?
So with the structural deficit that the city's talking about, they have a team from City Hall that's gonna come and visit each department to see what can be done, and they circulated a memo that is really probably more focused towards other departments because of our relationship to being funded by the water and sewer revenues. Cost savings in our department don't really help the city's structural deficit in any particular way at all. But that's but on Monday, we're gonna be meeting with them, and we still expect that there are some ways that we could be looking at some cost savings and benefit ratepayers and water board, whether or not it benefited the city's financial situation. We still have to be careful about hiring and budgeting.
But Bill has a very good list of what
Right.
I'm gonna call pullbacks. Things that the city's doing, like with Verizon and National Grid bills, that pulling those back to us,
Right.
getting
Yeah.
more control.
Yeah, we've had a lot of our utility stuff, not really, we haven't really been monitoring because it's all been taken care of like centrally for all the departments, and it's been frustrating at times, just like we don't have access to go look at our National Grid accounts, like we did a big project where we redid the whole electrical system in Pure Bush, but we haven't like seen the difference between before and after. We changed all the UV equipment in Bombville
Right.
and put in equipment that has a lower turn down ratio, but we haven't trended to see what that is. So I think if we looked at our national grid bills, we looked at our Verizon for cell phones, and we looked at our Spectrum and First Light bills, we could probably think of how we might save on those things. I guess I was comparing it, Chuck, that we talked about at in your home, you know, you subscribe to a bunch of different things, and after a while you forgot.
You forget.
Hey, I got
And they keep
I
charging
got an
you.
automatic
Right.
hit going out
Right.
on something. So I think that's one of the ways we could, but the other way I was thinking we could take some burden off our operating expenses. Is we can use our lead services money, in force account and get reimbursed for our own labor. We can get reimbursed on what we're doing with our own forces with service line replacements. We can get reimbursed for our efforts with our engineering department, which are mostly working on capital projects. We could capture those things, through our long-term financing, so they can get reimbursed back into the water boards, pockets.
Bill was also talking about pulling back to the major contractors like Keller.
Yeah.
We just pay them directly.
Mm.
So we just chip away at this thing and start going the other way.
Just quickly, I'm reminded of the old cliche, the more things change, the more things stay the same.
Yeah.
Because this has always been an issue, you know, between the city and the water board, once they separated from the water board, from the city of Albany. I agree with you completely, Bill, on the expenses, there's no way you're gonna save the money. But I would be aware of the city wanting to transfer more funds back to them. You know, in other words, raising the cost of their administrative fees, something like that. That's where I think you gotta be concerned. I mean, they shouldn't be doing that, but that's an easy way to increase their revenue.
Well, they're looking for ways, that's.
Yeah. Someone might think of that as a way to help their budget, so beware of that. And Bill knows all that issue because they've done that back and forth, trying to raise more money. And this is a place for it.
It's just gone up over the years. More and more and more.
But
Yeah.
I think if we point out that we have the strengths of the document,
Mhm.
and that's something that you give to the trustee, and that's really what we're working with. They don't really have a way in the middle of the year to,
That's a reasonable and logical argument, but.
I think they're gonna try to get the state to bail them out. That's what Bill and I were hearing. And I said, well, that's a one-shot deal.
Alright,
That doesn't solve the problem.
doesn't solve it.
You gotta get a pilot.
Yeah.
Go for a pilot,
Alright.
make it permanent. So,
That's been the argument for years, though. I mean, the previous mayor said the same thing. We need a permanent, we don't want to go to the legislature every year and ask for money. We want to make it permanent. They've said it for years and no one listens. Other cities get them, but not all.
I don't know if the number's exact, but the state represents 57% of
Yeah.
the footprint of the city.
Yeah.
It's killing us.
Oh, yeah. And we have to respond and provide them services
Mm.
on a daily basis.
And of course, it's the one reason that we're in pretty good shape financially, because the state has to pay for water. It's great.
Okay, so I don't hear any comments on 5, so we'll see what happens with all of these other massages I do.
One quick comment.
Yeah,
The last bullet on 5.
Yeah.
Is similar to the first bullet on number 1. Back to full compliance with federal, state and local regulations.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We go back to,
You may not need both of them.
do we not need 5 at all? Still? Well,
I mean,
it is important to have bullet 1. We just changed the name of 5 to have, right?
but those 2 bullets both talk about regulatory compliance.
Yeah, we probably don't need that. And then technology adoption here is we discussed before, so that could be a redundant one. So let's see what I can come up with for review to address number 5 here. And then number 6 was the workforce excellence, and then it lumped governance, which is really this committee too. For policies, and then wanting a really good culture and community within the department.
I was glad you added this. I didn't have it. This is a good addition. Yeah, very good.
Good.
We shared this with Joe D and he came back and really picked up on that one too.
Yeah, he did.
He's been very helpful.
Yeah,
On this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the feedback here. So I'm gonna keep working this and send out another version, maybe 2. To Karen to post up before our next meeting.
More homework.
Yes, more homework. The reviews should get easier though, each time around.
Not a problem.
You guys are gonna think I'm crazy. I have a classmate at
I already think you're
college.
crazy.
I'm reading a book right now, and it relates to this. A classmate of mine, is now the head of the history department at Yale University. Brilliant guy, black guy, he was fantastic. And, Phi Beta Kappa at Harvard, he was a genius. We were good friends. He's written a book on the plagues. And how, and it's this thick, it's like the Manhattan Telephone book, and I'm about 100 pages. But his theory is that plagues, like the COVID crisis, the Black Plague, bubonic plague, after you have these big plagues, there are massive changes in society. After the Black Plague, the Renaissance happened. After COVID, look at all the changes we're going through right now. The AI, working from home. We don't even know yet all the impact these things have, but they have enormous impacts. But I got thinking about it in a different way. What does the Albany Water Department do? We try to prevent plagues. By providing safe, clean drinking water, the best quality we can, handling the wastewater safely. And that's what caused a lot of the plagues. And we don't have anything about that in there, but I thought I'd just share that with you all, because it really, when you get down to it, that's what we're all about. And we didn't kind of capture that in a way, but the public health thing is really important.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, when I first came on the board, I asked Joe, what it was he worried about the most? And when I got the fire hose treatment for about 2 hours about what's going on, I said, well, what worries you most? And he said that there'll be a fire and the hydrant won't work. And then he talked about the quality of the water. Those 2 things, public safety, really key. Not for my soapbox, I'm sorry.
No, so we'll see.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
It's
Well,
overlooked.
I'll bring the book
It's
next
often
time.
overlooked and take it for granted.
right.
I
Yeah.
agree with
The
you.
important.
So the
bit.
public safety part, especially the water, because you always, I mean, Bill
Yeah.
knows this, I'm always concerned about the final product. And making sure that's safe, that there's nothing there, because if something gets there, that's the end of it. I mean, people get scared, something bubbles up and.
Yeah, but when we've gone through the vulnerability assessment stuff in the past too, the protection, the importance of fire protection to any different time period was also a very high priority. I don't know whether it was so.
Maybe we ought to have fire
Yeah.
protected in there.
I did add that, and it's probably number 1.
Yeah, yeah.
Top. Yeah. I took that note, so I will add that feedback.
And thank you for bringing AI into this. That was
I
brilliant.
think it made us quicker. As it's supposed to do.
I hate to admit.
Yeah, right. It
Yeah,
has its
even
uses.
if you were telling people that it's a boil water notice, the firemen want to know there's water behind it.
Right, yeah. All right, any other thoughts before I keep working? All right, well, thanks for the feedback. And we'll move on to number 5, the policies. So Laura, can I turn it
Sure.
over to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think it was our last governance meeting where we had given a report to the governance committee, that we were working on the internal controls policy. This one, as I have explained to Arif and Chris, has always, It's been daunting, I think, for someone like me kind of coming in and looking at what our internal controls look like and really how to put pen to paper. So Chris and Arif and I met again this week to kind of fine tune what our revisions might be. We're not quite ready to present a version for the board to review or vote on, but that we think will be ready for April, or at least we'll have a little bit more to share.
Thanks for working on that.
Yes.
That would be great. So that brings me to number 2 here. So that's, I'm gonna take that. So I'm gonna recommend that we have another governance committee meeting in April 24th. And I guess I'm gonna call for a vote since we typically vote on our schedule, and that way we give Karen the agreement to go ahead and post for that. So all in favor, I'll just do an all in favor for the. It looks like we're gonna have this meeting, that motion passes. Thank you for that, everyone. And that's also when I'll come back with the North Stars provisions and we can work from them more. So then number B,
Yes,
letter B,
yes.
commissioner evaluation process.
Yes, and so I provided some feedback. It's in red line right now on the commissioner performance evaluation form. This really speaks to the section guidance, the purpose with guidance. And I really reviewed this. I think the procedure itself looks great. You're getting involvement from all board members. I just had a couple of thoughts with regard to the open meetings law. Probably don't want to put it in an email to the full board. Open meetings law has been pretty expensive to include even emails where entire board members are part of an email chain discussing public business. It could be seen as a meeting. So you have a quorum on your email chain.
That's amazing.
It is, it's expensive. But so one way to think about that is if there is feedback to share, you can always have one-on-one emails and of course, one-on-one calls, and then bringing it to the full board meeting, of course, to speak about an open meeting. And then with regard to feedback for an employment or employee, you can always take that into executive session. So that's really the basis for my red lines. They're not extensive. It's just with an eye toward open meetings.
Bill, get ready.
Any
You're up
thoughts?
next. I took your thunder, I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, any thoughts on this one or?
Last page at the 25.
Oh, thanks.
The accomplishments for
21.
21.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I haven't.
Yes, right,
Yeah.
exactly. No, you're right. You're right. Edit to the year. And we can even probably just put 20 and then dash.
Yeah.
you know, for the year. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
More stuff.
No, it's good. It's good. Catching it. Yeah, no, you read it to the end.
One more thing on this one, and maybe it's for Bill and Arif. So the goal was always to have the dates work so that we could give feedback to the mayor, so that the mayor could give a salary action. And remind the mayor that they do that for our commissioner, and we do not. So it was really kind of a twofold thing. It was let's set this schedule so that the mayor is really on top of this, and then we get that number in our budget. Does that timing work if we give the feedback to the mayor or to the commissioner and then the mayor no later than June 16th, or is that not gonna work for getting the number into the budget? Or we could predict, but
I think that's early enough. yeah.
it's early enough. Okay,
Yeah, because last year I think we finished the budget around like mid-August.
okay.
So maybe
Good.
End of July is like we can set up a goal.
You could tweak the number, and I know it's not gonna probably make or break our budget, or else we shouldn't be doing it, but that was always the goal there, is that lining it up. Okay, perfect. And then the other question I had was just for
Yeah.
Laura. So Chuck always writes a nice cover letter and presents it to the mayor, which is really nice. Would we this is just for my information.
Yeah.
Would we be able to recommend a percentage increase in that letter, or is that like going too far?
I would say you could. I don't know how the typical budget process works, so, you know, maybe you wanna put it in there and say highlighted in our budget is this. Something to that effect.
We haven't done that
No.
before.
Right,
Because the city went through a whole process where they established ranges for salaries
oh, okay.
and
Yeah, there's a
it
range for each of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Positions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, then you need to wait until we actually resolve what the city, what it's gonna be for the next,
yeah,
next period.
how that moves each year, yeah.
But Kathy said our comments were very helpful to her.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
feedback.
Yeah,
Maybe she was being polite, but I think she was honest.
oh, yeah, it's great.
You want to adopt this today or wait one more time and?
Let's adopt this today, because I'm going to, actually, that's the next process, so I'm going to send this out to the board before I leave, since I'm going on an extended vacation, and request everyone to get it back to me by mid-April, and then I will do my work when I'm back, so. So yes, I guess I would ask for a motion to adopt the Commissioner Annual Performance Evaluation Revision for this month of 26.
Make motion.
Second, and all in favor?
All in favor.
Aye. Okay, well then we'll use it.
Will we need a resolution? You know,
I think so. I think your motion is okay for right now. Yeah,
It's not a required policy, so anything we do.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then number 4, vote to recommend to the board resolution 2608.
I think we're gonna table this one. There's still internal discussions about the recommendation from staff to the board.
Okay.
I think we'll just table this one for
For
next time. Yeah,
Great. Okay.
thank
I
you.
also think that's important because this meeting we're gonna have with the city on Monday will also affect that.
Well, it's your one.
If we take things back,
Sure.
we'll need to incorporate that. Good.
Do I have any need for executive session? Done. Any new business that is not discussed? Hearing none, I'm going to announce that the next meeting we have just determined will be ahead of the April regular board meeting. It will be at 8:30 a.m. and then we will meet then. So may I ask for a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Just a
Oh,
technical
I'm gonna
question.
take this.
Oh,
You really wanted to do that.